Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Chill Capsule. I am Achant Marma and I'll be your host for today. I am pursuing my BA Honours degree in psychology from Amity University, Lucknow. And today I've had the privilege to be in conversation with Miss Shilpi Srivastav. How are you today, ma'am?
Oh, I'm really all good. And I'm really happy to be with you, Anchit, today because although I know you through my friends, but then I'm also happy because you're interviewing me. The subject that you are pursuing is very much related to what I am into. So therefore, it's, I'm lucky to have you as my host today.
So, ma'am, I have already known you for quite some time now, but for our audience, let me give a small introduction about you. So, Shilpi Srivastav considers herself to be a bohemian at heart, a postgraduate in English literature from the University of Lucknow, an uninterrupted 18 years of successful career in the field of education. Today, she is the headmistress of an international school. You must have seen her videos on YouTube and Facebook for teachers and students alike as to how to learn English language the easy way. That's how the world knows her, but there is so much more than what just meets the eye. She's a clairvoyant, a tarot reader, and Krishna conscious person, as she defines herself. She has been interested and practicing the occult sciences from early years of growing up and is now a full fledged, accomplished numerologist, psychic, and tarot reader with expertise in spells and manifestation techniques. Wow, that's an amazing introduction, ma'am. So, without keeping our audience waiting, let's jump right into it. There are a lot of questions regarding this field. I know I have a lot of them because I very frequently get those posts on Instagram, no, where you choose your tarots and then you get a fortune told. So, I've always been very fascinated by that. So, these questions, I am very excited to know the answers. So, let's just dive right into it. So, to begin with, just to form a base, what exactly are the occult sciences?
All right, occult sciences, people always, first of all, let me greet my audience. A very good evening. And Chill Capsule is a series of programs where we always interact with people from different fields. And here today, Anchit is interviewing me on tarot and occult sciences. So yes, as my friends know me, I have been a teacher and now as a headmistress, but the world knows me in that position. In the materialistic world, it's like that position. But from my heart and from my soul, I am a clairvoyant and I'm a tarot reader and also a psychic. So coming back to your question, Anchit, occult sciences basically is a part of spirituality. And that is what I want to clarify to the world, that do not think that occult sciences is black magic. There is nothing known as a black magic or a white magic. Magic is magic.
Magic.
All right. So therefore, it's the entire world is a magic. So occult sciences, what we call, and if you come to the Sanatan Dharma, there are two paths: a right path where you use mantras, okay, for meditation, sadhana, and tantra is the left path, wherein tantra is where you try to get involved. It's like getting mixed up with nature. You get the divine through nature, the trees, the animals, the soil, the earth, mountains. So therefore, you'll see that many people who follow the occult are amidst nature. Maybe they are in the forest, they are in a jungle, or whenever you see, you were talking about tarot. So sometimes we must have seen them giving you remedies. These remedies are all connected to plants, to spices, because we believe that the path of Tantra also leads you to God, also leads you to the divine, but it is through nature. When you unite with nature, that is the path of the occult. So occult sciences is a science, just like your Vedic sciences, just like your physics, chemistry, everything else. This is also a science, in simpler words, if I put it.
That's very informative. So you told us, Abhi, that for the materialistic world, you are known as a teacher and now as a headmistress, but at heart, you've always been a practitioner of the sciences. So my question to you is, how would you rather we address you? Would you rather be called an educationist or a practitioner in the occult sciences?
Well, if I'm being called an educationist is also not wrong, because even if I am an educationist, it is like I'm even telling the world what occult sciences are, what actually tarot reading is, what actually, what we call, um, usually people call psychics and clairvoyants and like Wicca. And it's always taken in a very negative term, but it's not a negative term. So Anshita, I'll just give you a little history because I know we don't have much time. That Wicca or the Wiccans were women who were in the before 14th century, women who were intelligent, what you called now feminism, feminists. So these women in those times were feminists. They were more beyond just household work. They wanted to discover more, learn more. But in those times, Europe was in the dark. I mean, women were not given so much of freedom.
Right.
They were supposed to get married, have children. They were not expected to be intelligent and talk something very wise. But these women couldn't stop it. So in their free time, they used to experiment with the plants, with trees. They used to meditate, learn the secrets of nature, and then they started applying it. And the men in the village or the men around just couldn't take it. They couldn't take the fact that these women are intelligent. They are trying to contribute in society the way men do. Right. So therefore, they were segregated. They were termed as witches that, and these women only used to meet at a time when people wouldn't notice. That is in the dark hours at night. Now, that wasn't night. There was no electricity at that time. So 6, 7 o'clock. Imagine in England or Europe or Italy, it was, dark. And they used to meet at that time. The work, household chores were done. Children were asleep. So they met and discussed. And people started interpreting, oh, they are dealing with the dark forces. They're doing something which is not normal. So they then started stamping them as witches. And what happened, history, they were tortured, they were burned to death, they were blamed as blasphemy, going against religion, which wasn't the case actually. So therefore, I would say if I'm an educationist, this is what I want to educate the world, not just the subject that I have done my post-graduation in, but also this science, the occult science, wherein people believe it's black magic, it's voodoo. No, it's not that. Magic is magic. Right now, if you say, oh, ma'am, I was just thinking this moment about you and you pinged. Right? What is that? That's magic, because you have manifested something in your head. Your thought process was so strong that actually materialized. And that is what, the yogis and the sadhus and people in the past did. We say, oh, wo to adrishya ho jate the. They used to be like invisible and come to another place. How? Because they had developed this manifestation part to the, optimus level. So they were able to manifest anything. You wanted something and they gave it to you, right? Because they had that power of manifestation. That's what it is.
So now that we've got more insight into how witches worked and what essentially witchcraft is, would you call yourself a modern day Wicca?
Yes, of course. Because what is a modern day Wicca is that, we do not go around, we do not separate ourselves, first of all, from the normal people. One good thing about this century is that even if you call yourself Wicca, nobody will say, oh, you can't have a job, or you can't be in our family, or you can't do this. Although it's still considered a taboo in a very, very, normal society. If I say I'm a Wicca, when I declared myself as a Wicca, it wasn't easy for my friends to take it. Still, they take it as a joke. They say, oh, that's your pastime. That's your hobby. And, acha, they sometimes joke, okay, pick a card for me. Are you sure it is going to come true? So, it's very difficult to make people accept. But yes, what the good part is that they are open to listen to it. Like you are sitting here and talking about it. So people are curious, they want to know. And yes, when they are actually accepting it as a science. This is what it is. But the main purpose of this following the path is to get this out of the mind of the people that it's black magic, that it's, you know,
That's
something which
anything
is like the
negative.
witches. Yeah, that, you know, the witches have a broom and they sit on it and they fly,
Yes, yes.
right? A pocket nose and a, you know, a tip with a
Pointed
hat with
hat.
a cone, a pointed tip, and
Yes,
they
yes.
fly like that, you know. So it's not like, it's not actually that way. Wickas are normal people. We feel the pain, we feel happiness the way you do. It's just that we have a certain control over, you know, control over our emotions and our wisdom. That's it.
Right. So that's a big myth busted today, that witchcraft and being a Wicca is not associated with anything negative. That's amazing.
No, nothing.
So, again, coming back to my tarot cards, because I'm obsessed with them at this point. From where did they get originated? How did they come up?
Right. Tarots, basically, you know, if I give you a history in a very short way, they were known as tarocchi in Italy, and they originated in the 14th century. They were basically playing cards. That was meant for the royals and people, you know, who had nothing to do the entire day, for them, for women to play. And they had very articulate paintings on them. They were made by hand. All right. But later on, what happened? This reached the gypsies. They were given to the gypsies. And the gypsy women, they went around, you know, with these cards. Now, how come the tarot went into divinity? How did it get connected to magic and to, you know, future reading and all? Because these gypsies, you know, they were in the forest. They used to travel from one place to another. And they were very much connected to nature. You know, gypsies still are connected to nature. If you go towards your western part of India or, you know, across Europe, there are gypsies who still, you know, are never stagnant in one place. They keep moving. They keep moving. So they have a lot of knowledge. Because no, the more you travel, the more knowledge you get about people and you get experience. So you do not need anything. You can judge people by the way they're wearing their clothes, by the way they talk, because you have traveled a lot. So this knowledge that came to the gypsies, because they traveled immensely, then, and they were also had the tarots with them. So what they did, they started associating these paintings, these figures on the tarot with some kind of divinity, symbols, meanings. So then and there, tarot actually came into existence. Now the modern tarot is the Rider-Waite tarot, okay, which is actually the basic tarot. The oracle and the angel and all these are just extension of the tarot, you know, of the Rider-Waite tarot. Rider was the person who actually gave the tarots a new shape, and Waite was the person who painted. So there are 78 cards in a deck, all right, which are divided into major and minor arcana. The major one is related to your spirituality, to your knowledge and wisdom, and the minor arcanas depict the kind of trials and tribulations that you're facing in your life. So let me also bust a myth here. The tarot cards never predict a future in the way that, okay, Anchit, by next Wednesday, you will get this. No. What the tarot card does is that, okay, Anchit, in the next coming week, this is what is going to happen, okay? This is the problem, or this is the thing you're going to face. Then the tarot will give you a guidance. If you do this, you might be able to overcome it. If you control your emotions at this time, this will pass. So it will never tell you, oh, this is actually going to happen to you. It doesn't put a stamp on any kind of consequences or any happenings. Yeah, it's a guidance. It will always tell you what you are going through, your state of mind, and then it will guide you, also giving, and therein where remedies come in. Therein where I might tell you, okay, you know, I think you need some negative thoughts are there in your mind. So please go ahead and lit a camphor in your room. Or,
so there is correlation between horoscope and tarot, is it?
Horoscope is, you know, horoscope has actually not being a part of the Western astrology where tarot comes in from.
Okay.
Horoscope is basically Vedic astrology.
Hmm.
And in Vedic astrology, it is accurately calculated. So any master in the Vedic astrology, if he's actually studied it intricately, he will be exactly able to tell you the next moment of your life. All right. They can also give you guidance. They'll give you the guidance. All right. They will also give you remedies. But Western astrology, if you come to horoscope, it's a very general one, what you call sun signs. Okay, sun signs, they define your personality. So Vedic astrology is the one which calculates your planets, the planetary movements. Then it is moon sign. They go by your moon sign. Because sun sign is a general one. If I say I was born on the 4th of June, you were also born on the same date. So it might give you a general picture of both of us. But still, my personal qualities will be very different from you.
Right.
Based on my culture, based on my family, based on my past life, where I'm coming from, and of course, my moon sign. Because my moon sign will be different from yours.
Yes.
You know, according to the planetary movement. Maybe I was born on the 4th of June, you too, but I was born in the afternoon, you were born in the morning. So the planets were different. So my destiny, my personality, intricate qualities will be different from yours. And that is what Vedic astrology talks about. So tarot, as I say, tarot can define you as a person also. It can even tell you what's going on in your mind. And that is where psychics and clairvoyants are concerned. Now, psychics and clairvoyants are people who actually they have reached a level of meditation where they can unite with nature. They are on the same vibration as the universe.
So not everyone can become a psychic or a
yes, to an extent, yes. People are born with this, with some natural gift, because it also connected to your past life. If in the past life you were on a spiritual path, but due to certain problems or certain things, your path was not complete, you were born again. But because those sanskars, those qualities are still there in you, so along your life, you will somewhere get, sometimes people say, I don't know why I'm drawn to this path. Nobody in my family is interested in this. Like, you're bound to become a painter, but nobody in your family, even in generations, nobody was a painter. But you want to become, because somewhere in the past, you must have been related to it. You call a calling. Oh, this is my calling. I just can't resist. I want it. So, that is where your past karma is coming.
So it stems intrinsically, and then it can be learned further, like perfected further. I'm so sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
That's all right.
So another question that I had was, we talk about manifesting a lot in our conversation that we just had. What are the ways we can manifest? What can we do?
Yes, manifestation is when you are, many people say, don't think negative. Don't think negative. Now, what is negativity? Negativity is a new term, actually. There is nothing negative or positive. Thought is a thought. It's just that how strongly you are thinking about it. So the only way that if you want only good things to happen to you, which will not always happen, bad things, I wouldn't call it bad things, but things that are not to your liking may happen. So, in that case, manifestation techniques are there. Like if you see in the Muslim community, they have the 786, which they consider very auspicious. So there are certain numbers which also have a magical power to them. Like in our Sanatan Dharma, you have 11 times, 101, 121. Then you have also 7, कहते हैं 7 आसमान होते हैं, 7 फेरे होते हैं. So there are certain numbers which are very auspicious and have some magic in them. So they can be used. Sometimes I tell my people, if you want a certain thing to happen, the very first thing is write it down somewhere. The moment you script it, it's actually indebted.
Sending
The moment
positive
you write
vibes
it,
into the
it's like
universe.
when you learn a question and you write the answer is there in your mind. Teachers tell you, write and learn, write and learn. Mama gets at your back, likh ke yaad karo, likh ke yaad karo. Why? Because the impression gets into your head. Orally, we keep on speaking. We can change the words that we are speaking. I may say, I like you, Anchit. Next moment, I may say, I love you, Anchit. So my words can be different. But what I have written, I have written. That has, eyes, hands, mind have synchronized to write that thing on paper. So therefore, manifestation is a technique. How you manifest is that you, first of all, need to have confidence. How will confidence come into you? When you are free, when you realize that I'm a soul, I'm a part of the divine, and whatever is going on within me is coming from the divine. So you have to start aligning yourself with the divine through meditation, through practices, and it begin with 5 minutes a day, and then by and by you'll see that it changes you. Let me give you an example. When I entered the Krishna conscious movement, although my family was into it from generations, but then when I came to it, I never knew what is the importance of chanting. I used to feel, I remember Krishna every day. I, burn the incense, and that's enough. I think of him the entire day. Why do I chant? But once something happened, and it's like a ritual. You have to chant 16 times a day. So I used to chant just 1 time or 2 times. I was like, it's enough. Why should I sit and chant 16 times? But I was going through a very indecisive period. And at that time, I had nothing else in my mind. I said, okay, let me chant. So I started chanting and I did 16 times. When I finished 16 times, and when I went to the person I had to talk to, I don't know how the words that were coming out of my mouth, I realized I am not myself. There is a second person who's sitting there and talking. When the entire conversation was over, the person who was listening to it said to me, was it you who were talking? I said, yes. So they said, but I can feel the vibe as if your voice had changed. You were much sweeter. You were calmer. You were not at all, hyper. So I said, even I realized the same. Now, when I went back home, I tried to think over it. And what I realized that the 16 rounds, when I am holding the rosary or the mala in my hand, my hands, my eyes, my mind are synchronized. So the chanting of 16 times, 2.5 hours, it actually put me into a calmer state. It aligned my thoughts, my words, and my speech into a kind of calmer state. So that is what I feel, that meditation, even for kids, even for anybody, is very necessary. It aligns you. When you're angry, don't people say, calm down, pani piyo, 2 minute baith jao. Why? Because it aligns you. Water cools down your emotions. Water, 70% of us is water. Moon symbolizes water. So it calms down your emotions. So therefore, that is how manifestation happens.
We talk about in psychology also, and you must know about it. Whenever the more the number of senses employed, the better your attention is, the calmer your body is, and the more effectively you will be able to deal with your environment.
Don't you love people who are stable when they're talking, who talk slowly, calmly? You feel that even you get calmer, no matter how angry you are or how emotional turmoil is going within you. But when you sit in front of them, you feel calmer because they have been able to align the entire system.
And their energy radiates. Energy radiates.
Yes, and the energy. So energy, everybody knows. Like people have been repeating it so many times. Even physics says energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Right.
So we are energy. The moment we die, our bodies are put into the funeral, happens on the pyre. It's energy. What happens? We just go away, right? If you, don't you say, oh, I went to her, I got very cold vibes from her. What is this cold vibes? That she didn't want to connect to you. Even though she might have been courteous, talking, oh, Anchit, how are you? How is everything going? But you feel, I don't feel the connect with her. And there are times when you just sit next to a person and you just start off a conversation, and then you realize as if I know you for a very long time. Like you and me. I don't know how many times we've met. I think once I took you on my show.
Yes.
And how come you are the first person I considered that, oh, I want Anchit out of thousands of people that I know, because alignment, our thoughts aligned, right?
So another question that I had, and again, this is also something you mentioned, Abhi. You're the first person who's kind of inclined towards this direction in your family, because I believe you come from a family of staunch academicians, right? So how come coming from that background, of course you had your calling, that is one part, but apart from that, how did you choose this route for yourself?
It was right from from childhood. I had this thing, I wanted to know God. I don't know why. God was, I had something like, I want to know God. And that's the only element I felt connected to. I always felt that, I need to connect to God. I need to know how he manifests in different religions, how he works around in the world. And, I started writing poetry from a very young age, from grade 6, from 6 years of age, I was writing poetry. And I don't know, in my family, people were religious, like they all are, but not talking about God, not talking about anything. It's just like in the morning you pray and then you begin with your routine.
Towards the spiritual side and not so much with the religion.
Yeah. So you start, right in the morning, your mother prays and then the normal routine begins. But for me, that routine did not end. That thing did not end. It used to continue throughout the day. Somewhere in my mind used to happen, God. I don't know what it was. And so that led me to explore religion. Your mother and I were in the same school in the convent. And, we used to pray in the morning, in the afternoon, everything. So that was the beginning. When I used to attend the assembly and the hymns that we used to sing, I never wanted those hymns to stop. It was like I used to feel I am just getting into it.
That and I think then is like a trance-like state. It's a trance-like state.
You just get into a trance. And then I read the Bible. I never read my own religious books, I'm telling you, till I grew up. I read all the other books and I started exploring. I had questions in my mind and I asked my father, I asked everyone. So, but then it was not leading me. And suddenly I started meditating, meditating in the sense, not sitting and in a sadhana position. I used to go back into my backyard. We had a backyard with lots of flowers and weeds and all. We were living in a place, in the cantonment area where you have a lot of greenery.
Beautiful area.
And so, I used to sit there and just get lost into the nature. And I used to feel that, somewhere I'm getting connected to it. Now I was looking for this path when I came across a lady, if you heard of her, Ispita Roy Chaudhary. She is from Oxford University. She was a graduate in English literature, postgraduate rather. And then she was the first vicar. Her husband was a commissioner, ambassador in one of the countries. And she took up this witchcraft very seriously. She wrote a book also, Sacred Waters. And I saw her interview. And then I realized, oh, this is what I am getting into. Okay. And she was the one who became my inspiration because she, is a doctorate in literature, PhD, and her father was a professor. And then she took up witchcraft and she follows it openly.
A very similar path to yours.
Yeah. So, it's like when she took it up and she was able to claim herself and she openly called herself a Wicca, I think that is the time when I realized, okay, this is my path. I think this is what I'm looking into, So magic, everybody's attracted to magic. So my first curiosity was, I want to learn the spells.
Which want to know how. My next question, actually, what are spells and how are they different?
Okay, spells are basically, like your parents give you a kind of blessing, right? Don't we say, Mummy, please, Ashirvad to ye ho jaye. We ask our elders, aapki dua lage, aapki. Yeah, these are spells. Actually, these are spells. Because what they say, you believe in it. That my grandmother, if she gives me this blessing, it will happen. So even the mantras in our religion, जैसे हमारे सिखिज्म में होता है सुखमनी साहिब, जब कोई बीमार पड़ता है, then people say आप उसके अगर पास में बैठ के if you read the सुखमनी साहिब, then the person will heal very quickly. Right? So that is the magic of mantras. So these mantras, when you connect it with nature, like if I tell you, okay, Anchit, you want one of your wishes to come true, then take a bay leaf and take a blue or a red pen, write your wish on that and burn it in a candle. And when that turns to ashes, put it in a paper and keep it in your wallet. It will come true. Now, what I'm giving you is a spell. So the words that you are using as a mantra, I am just using something out of your kitchen. Because you see, why? Now, this is a connection. So you can say, Are, hum to ye bol ke bhi kar sakte hain. Why do I need to write on a bay leaf? Because again, not everybody is meditating. Yeah, not everybody is meditating every day. Not everybody's systems are aligned, but nature is aligned. Plants are aligned. Plants are absolutely aligned. When you have Durga Puja, you burn the clove, you burn the kapoor, you burn the camphor. Why? Because everything is aligned. So therefore, in witchcraft, what we call, we have actually used these two combination with the words so that even an ordinary person can manifest. You want money? I'll tell you, never use a blue wallet. Always use a wallet which is red in color, which is purple in color, and you can put, cinnamon sticks in it. And never keep your notes folded in the wallet. Always keep them straight. If you start doing this, you will, and don't clutter your wallet. Throw away everything else which is not needed. You will see that your savings will increase. You will see. Now, see how it is connected. It is making you disciplined. What is important? Money is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is important. You keep Lakshmi in a disciplined way. So if you keep Lakshmi in a disciplined way, Lakshmi will come to you. If I don't respect you, if I keep clutter around you where you're sitting, Anchit, if I keep a lot of things, Anchit will never come back to my place.
Right.
She doesn't treat me well. So
having that
I am just manifesting.
Space, having that welcoming
space. So I'm just manifesting something along with something what, will help you to get it. If I tell you, okay, Anchit, clean your wallet, you will never do it. But if I connect it to something, you will do it.
Motivation. Right? A little motivation there, yes. So you've been in this field for a very long time now, I believe. So when have you had a different experience? Like, sometime when you experience something that has really stood out in your mind. Has that ever happened with you?
Yes, it has happened. It has happened with me, actually. I used to get dreams beforehand of certain events, but in a very indirect way. They were never direct. If, for example, I was supposed to meet with an accident, in my dream, I wouldn't see an accident happening in an accident way, but I would see something like, my teeth falling or my hair getting cut, and then I never used to get
symbolic.
Yeah. So, the first time I had this very, very transformational experience was that I was reading Linda Goodman, which we all know about her. Linda Goodman, the sun signs that she has written. So world over, the girls just go crazy over it. So I was reading Linda Goodman's book, not about sun signs. She had written something about something else. And there was the last line that I read was, you seek the truth and you'll find it. With that, I closed the book and I went off to sleep. I had a dream that, my grandfather, and I saw him that he is walking into something which is very, very beautiful. It's like a white kind of a palace he's walking into. जो झरोके होते हैं ना जहाँ से sun rays आते हैं, those kind of झरोकाs are there and rays of the sun are coming in, and there are certain boys and girls in white who are playing drums and trumpets. And I was like, what is this? And he's entering with a lot of joy. I was like, what did I see? And I woke up. So that dream remained with me for some time, but then I forgot because it was like the month of August when I saw this dream. And after that, it just went off. In January, when my grandfather passed away, you know, I went to this funeral place, which is in Lucknow, if you know about it. It has got white marbles. It has got a white temple, you know, in that funeral ground so that people can feel peace after departing from their dear ones. And when I went there, girls are not allowed, but I just forced my parents. I want to go because I loved my grandfather a lot. And I said, I want to go and say bye to him. This was been my last farewell. So they took me and they said, you can't come near to the funeral pyre. You sit far away. So I sat on that temple, on the stairs of that temple. And suddenly I realized when I looked around, this is the thing that I saw in my dream.
Yes.
I said, oh my God, this means I saw my grandfather's deaths. I saw that this is the way he will be, you know, he'll be cremated at this place. And this is how the angels are going to welcome him. Because I saw the Jarokas, and immediately at that time, the sun rays were coming in. And I was like, goodness, what's this? And that is the point, Anchit, when I realized what is manifestation. What is manifestation? You know, if I had realized the connection of my dream, I could have. And, you know, I saw my own accident. I saw that, you know, my hair, my teeth are falling and my hair is, somebody is cutting my hair. And I was like, it was very, you know, scary. I got and I was like, what horrible dream is this? And then I forgot about it. I just cleansed my mind. Okay, nothing happened. And when after 2 months, I met with the accident, it was a terrible accident, and I fell head on. I lost my front 2 teeth. And because my hand was fractured, I couldn't comb my hair. So when I was lying on bed, my mother took me to a salon and my hair was cropped into a boy cut. All right. So then I realized, oh my God. And then I said to God, if you have given me this power of seeing something happening in the future, then let me use it for the good. You are making me realize that I have this little thing in me, then let me use it for the good. So then I practiced upon it. I read about it. I started following the rituals and things. And now I'm able to use it for the common welfare.
So in a lot of small ways, you got your calling a lot of times in your journey.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Yes. And so we're running out of time, but there is one last question that I have for you.
Yeah.
And my last question to you is, as far as I know, all these ways, they can also give us insight into our past lives, right?
Yes.
And how so?
See, there are certain ways. There is something you must have heard if you go and search Akashic records. Akashic records will tell you if you're facing a certain problem, relationship problems in this time, you say, I am very pure heart. I always give pure love to people. Why am I not receiving it back? I sacrifice. So then Akashic records will tell you what actually happened in your past that is leading you to this. Now, once you know about your past, you can put remedies, you can put ways and techniques that can change, bring about change in your personality, you know, somewhat what you call, जैसे कहते हैं ना आप उसका, whatever wrong you had done in the past, you want to overcome it. So you can only overcome, you can only improve when you know what faults, what wrong have you done. If I say, Anchit, improve yourself, you'll say, tell me where I have to improve.
Right.
So the past is there. Yes. So there are certain ways in which you can look into your past, not because you want to know what happened. We look into your past to let you know how you can change it. Change in the sense, suddenly something new will not come up.
That a similar thing does not repeat itself.
Yes, you can stop that thing happening. For example, if I tell you somebody's got diabetes, but he doesn't know he has diabetes. He goes on having sugar, having sugar, having sugar. But then you look into his medical history and
They
you tell
must
him,
get
oh,
tested.
you have diabetes. So then I'll tell him, listen, I'm not telling you to give up on sugar, but please control your sugar. So you see, you are able to enjoy all the sweets, but now you know you have to balance.
In moderation.
Yeah. So that is what past readings will tell you. One thing I want to clear, I know you're running short of time, but be aware of the fake people who tell you that I can read your past. These people who call you, make you lie on a couch and put you into a trance and do that. Please don't trust them. They charge you a bomb, but that is not the way past lives are looked into.
Yes.
You cannot get into your past life at the count of 10. They tell you we'll count from 10 to 0, and then you are into, no, what you experience is your imagination. You are not getting into a past life. That is now, if somebody has to travel into the past life, it doesn't happen between 15 minutes. It will take you a week. The person will call you regularly for a week and will work upon you. It will not happen in 15 minutes. There must be a
connection between the two for anything to happen.
This is all a way to earn money, and it's not the truth, because people have read the book by Dr. Brian Weiss, Many Masters, Many Souls, and that is how they just believe, oh, that is the technique he applied, so we all will apply and people will believe it. He was a master. Dr. Brian Weiss is an expert. He also, if you read that book, he also called his client 85 days. He did not do it in one go, right? So therefore, I would only tell my audience and people who are listening, please do not believe in such things. Do not go to hypnotherapists because they just get a certificate in it. I can get a certificate in medical from anywhere, but can I be a doctor? No, unless and until I am actually into it. I've studied the science. I've studied biology. Right. So everybody today can get a hypnotherapist certificate, but you can do it because you are studying psychology. Now, if you study paranormal psychology, you can claim to be into hypnotherapy. Right. So I would say they charge you 30,000, 35, 40, 50,000. I'm telling you, that is how it happens. And people regret later on because it doesn't solve their problems.
So this has been an amazing session today. I think we answered a lot of questions and a lot of
for taking out time and
please,
on such a short notice.
You and I both know that this was my privilege to be able to be in conversation with you and talk about such an interesting subject. Thank you so much. So this has been an amazing, amazing session, and I'm sure the audience will enjoy it thoroughly. And we know whom to reach out to now. Yes, anytime we have questions, anytime we want our tarot read, we know who to reach out to. So that was an amazing session. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who was watching us, and much more power to you. I'll stop recording now.